Hey guys, this is really quick, and I was just thinking, and I'm wondering, with the advent of bloated out information, we have volumes of this information, and on top of that, we have what we call personally identifiable information floating around, and the companies that thrive on this kind of information are doing very well. That tells me that our information as a civilization, the information itself that's connecting an individual to being identified, had turned out to be more expensive than silver and gold. Now, looking at that, you might say, why did I say that? Well, as you can see, those that are thriving on those kind of information, they're very rich, they're very big, multi-corporate, multinational organizations, as you know it well. Now, in my mind, I'm thinking, what could be a shift? What could be a paradigm shift in what we know as far as identification is concerned? We have the traditional way of identification, which we've used, oral tradition. You have your name, and sometimes you don't even know when you were born, but you know it's a particular day or something like that, and there's a sign to identify that. And then moving on, we have the modern age kind of identification where you have a birth certificate and all those other minute information that constitutes what we call an ID. In the Western world, you have stuff like what I have here. You can have your student ID. You can have a student ID or stuff like that, or driver's license, which I'm not willing to show you at this time, but you get the gist of what I'm trying to say. So you have all those kind of ID which identifies you, and in the age that we live in, it's called digital era or digital age. We have the smart card that you find in many places, and people are using them. And what do we really? What can we classify as a digital identification product? So we can say all these things are digital identification product. You know, I don't really want to go too deep into this digital identification product or digital identification, but there are axioms or conditions. Better yet, let's keep it simple. There are conditions for using them, okay? What could be a condition of qualifying something to be digital identification? So, some of the possibilities are, if somebody is alive, that thing could identify them. Even at death, that thing can still identify them. Even going through them, even many years, centuries later, you can still identify the person. So this can only be possible if humans have advanced information, making it possible so that every information that becomes data has a life cycle. If we can achieve that, then it's possible that we can have something can live for a lifetime. The lifetime could be centuries, okay, for data. So what constitutes a data digital identity could be different from one school of thought to another school of thought, but the guiding principle should be very simple. It's a digital information or digital strings or digital record that could identify somebody anywhere in the world, whether dead or alive, and that's a very good digital identification product. Now, not only that, centuries later, assuming that the cloud perseveres and everything else perseveres, machine learning or whatever, that same information can still pinpoint to somebody else as far as the provenance includes the DNA or something that perpetuates the identification of the person. Let's say by then we might have been able to exhibit the dual nature of the particle. Today we see people making holograms. So if somebody's image which is a hologram, can now identify the real person, which has the provenance or the true identity reduced into digital form in lines of strings. So the purpose here is to pique your interest and get you to start to think, what is this guy talking about digital identity? Is he saying that what we have now is not a digital identity? I'm saying that what we have now is a harbinger of the true digital identity, which is to come. Like, if I die, would you still identify me without my fingerprints being matched over something else? If I die 20 years, 10 years from today, would you still know who I am? Would I be remembered as a person that had lived? I mean, if you remove my death certificate, if you remove the death certificate, can you actually put my information somewhere and something will show up about this person that lived at such time? And can the digital privileges, accesses still remain active and stuff? So if you have an identification method where once you die, the digital access and stuff like that no longer exist, are not active anymore, then that's the way forward. That's the way forward. If the person is alive, the digital identification can, are very active. But if the person dies and if there's a birth certificate submitted, that terminates their digital identity. These are some of the thoughts that we have to put in it, but we have to think seriously on how to make this work. This is just, like I said, to pique your interest, but we'll talk about all the other components that will make up a digital identity product in full course as we keep talking. Thank you very much for your time and paying attention to what I had to say. So I came up with these thoughts every now and then. I would think so wildly about things. Thank you again for listening. Take care. Bye bye.